camp, you're taking over a team that hadn't won many games. You're establishing a new culture. This year, you're now in your second year, and you're coming off a Super Bowl. How different is your messaging and just the tenor of training camp for you?
I don't think the messaging will be much different. I think that it's got to be consistent. We have to, be able to build each and every year. We have to start over and figure out the things that we do well and what we like and what the players have confidence in. And we have to be able to push the envelope on some things that we weren't very good at last year and how we improve and how we build. So that starts over each and every training camp. And I think that to try to make it as simple as I can, you talk about earning a role, building a team, a camaraderie, spend a lot of time together, prepare for the journey, and then be able to prepare to win. And different situations that'll come up throughout the season. And then we'll start tomorrow with first and second down, and then we'll continue to build and add on as we go through training camp.
To quote the big dog, my sniffer's out here, Joe. As someone who has spent a lot of time in the doghouse, okay? My man Graves, I'm seeing a little more grays in the hair. We have some sound bites coming up. He gets a little agitated. I'm just wondering if there's some couch sleeping going on in the Vrabel residence. We're not going to go there today. I'm just saying what I observed. That's all I'm saying. 617-582-CHAT.
Is it funny that they just rolled him out there today and he answered questions?
I'm saying he looks a little. I'm just saying.
I think he's contractually obligated to answer questions.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, they just felt like it was a very softball.
I agree.
Softballs.
I agree.
I don't agree.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Key.
Who cares about the Rossini thing at this point?
Well, that's not even really going.
He
with
was
that.
asked about Gabe Akis 6 times.
Yeah.
He was asked about Christian Gonzalez 3 times.
True.
He gave bad answers. I think we can be upset about that.
Yeah.
He didn't answer any of the questions he was asked. He was asked plenty of questions.
Sure.
Well,
He just chose not
He
to.
brought a
But
dog
he's
out
saying
from the
it's-
Patriots.
Yeah, he's saying it's softball questions.
Like everything was just
Right.
Oh, and let's bring out the dog now.
Right.
And like
That was I would say the Patriots were trying to set
Okay,
themselves
not
up for
him.
something nice. Well, and he was too. I would say the reporters asked fine questions.
Okay.
No, I'm not
There's only
kidding.
so many
I'm not-
times you can ask a question and get told
You're
to pound
very right
sand
about
before you stop asking the same
Sure. Well, you said he didn't say much about Christian Gonzalez.
Nothing.
Let's examine it, shall we? Here he is on the Christian Gonzalez contract situation.
I would expect him to be here. He is here, and I would expect him to participate. And so, those contract negotiations are ongoing between the club and his agents. And, I'm excited about having Christian back here with us and the impact that he can make on our football team and really enjoy the person, enjoy the player. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
With his eligibility to be able to sign a new contract, are you waiting on things that are outside of your control, i.e., Devin Witherspoon's waiting for a contract in Seattle in order to?
No, I don't think those things, and again, I don't think they have anything to do with one another. We're not negotiating with the Seahawks. We're negotiating with Christian's representatives, and I don't think that there's anything different than just our communication with them.
That, folks, is what we call a lie. Because that's exactly what's going on. They're not able to come to an agreement on the contract because the contract that Christian Gonzalez signs is going to be just a teensy bit bigger than the one Devin Witherspoon signs out in Seattle. And by the way, they have the same agent. So that guy isn't going to be jumping back and forth bidding against his own player with different teams. It's just not going to happen.
What are we looking at? Witherspoon 32, Gonzalez 33 mil a year?
Neither one of them are going to go over 33. I think that's probably exactly about right. I think Seattle is balking on the Witherspoon thing because they have a lot of guys they have to pay because they've drafted so well the last few years, and they know the bill's going to come due soon enough. So they're going to try to get him to a lower contract. They're not going to be able to because guess what? I know people aren't going to like this. He's a better player than Christian Gonzalez.
Okay, I said this yesterday. I think Gonzalez is a better player. Why do you think Witherspoon is?
He's a great outside man corner. Devin Witherspoon can do several different things for you. The Seahawks used him and their second-round pick, Nick Eamon-Worry, as chess pieces. They play safety. They play linebacker. Witherspoon's the best slot corner in the NFL, and he can also play outside, which there are about 5 guys in the league that can do that. He's a better player overall, and he's more valuable to a defense.
So yesterday I said I like the kid in Denver. I like Stingley, and then I had Gonzalez. You're saying that order's wrong.
If you're talking about man-to-man cover corners, yes, but I think player, putting him on a defense and how he transforms the defense, I think Witherspoon's a better player.
Double M, how do you see
I would
this
prefer
playing out
Witherspoon
with Gonzalez's money?
See, Gonzalez wants to wait. Gonzalez should wait. If I'm the Patriots, I want him out there Thursday, which is when I assume they will have their first padded day of practice. Like I've said this before, time is money for the Patriots. You got to have him out there for the first day of pads. I do not want in a conference championship defense season us having to wait on Christian Gonzalez, him holding out, holding in for the majority of camp. Then you come back, and then the first few weeks of the season kind of become a bit of a, it's an extension of the preseason, an extension of training camp for Christian Gonzalez. Can't be messing with that. I get it. You're in a game of chicken. One side's waiting, the Patriots are waiting on Witherspoon to sign. Gonzalez is waiting on Witherspoon to sign. They're probably saying the exact same thing in Seattle at this point. At some point, somebody needs to balk. There has to be a number that Christian Gonzalez would sign for. You got to get it done between now and then.
I will say we've heard figures come out from Seattle of they offered this amount. We haven't heard anything about the amount with Christian Gonzalez, and that's why I think on Gonzalez's side, I don't want to even think about signing a contract until that guy signs. By the way, I just want to read out these dates for you because cornerback markets, the last few years, there have been 2 guys to sign an extension every offseason. Stingley and J.C. Horn signed theirs the same offseason. Stingley was 4 days after Horn. That was on July 15th.
Okay.
Surtain was after A.J. Terrell. He didn't sign until September 4th. So these things can stretch into the season. Surtain didn't hold out. We'll see if Christian Gonzalez does, because that obviously changes things. But the guy who gets drafted second signs second. Because he got drafted later, he made less money on his rookie contract, so he makes more on the other side. That's just how this thing has worked the last 3 off seasons.
Joe, how do you see it playing out?
I think they're just going to give him the money because they have to. But, the one thing that Keagan, I think, is kind of hinting at is that the Patriots don't play man-to-man. And, Witherspoon is more dynamic for what the Seahawks do. He's also an all-pro, right?
Yeah.
Where I don't think that Gonzalez was that. So
Second team.
It's interesting. One guy might deserve more than the other, even though the other guy was drafted before the other guy. But the Patriots have to give him the money. And if they don't, oh, boy.
Yeah. They don't have a choice.
We're going to crash out.
Absolutely. Hey, one of the things I'm looking forward to in training camp is seeing A.J. Brown suit up for the Patriots. There was a voice in the building today. We know A.J. Brown and Vrabel have a love affair, but there was a voice in the building today, and DeAndre Hopkins walking around just thinking, hey, I may hang up my cleats. Maybe I go into coaching. I'll learn from this coaching staff possibly. Mike Vrabel talked about that. Take a listen.
Him and I talked, and he asked if he could come hang out for a couple days and be around the coaches and be around the personnel department. And I called the league and made sure that was going to be okay. And then I invited him back, and that's where he's been the last couple days, and he'll be here for the next couple days.
Just to be totally clear on that, that's in like a coaching personnel capacity, not interested in trying out to be a player on the team.
Trying to say it as clearly as I could twice, and I can say it for a third time, but he has got coaching gear on, and he is helping out the offensive coaches and, meeting with our personnel guys and just trying to find, he loves football, people that love football and have played the game for, the length of time that he did, wants, I think, to explore the opportunities and what that looks like after, his playing career is over.
Okay, point of reference, DeAndre Hopkins last season did play for the Ravens, 22 catches, 330 yards, a couple touchdowns. It's probably about that time because he's a really good player, great career. It's probably about that time. Keegs, all I'm saying, Vrabel got a little agitated there.
Yeah, he did.
And that happens when you're sleeping on the couch, Keegs. That's all I'm telling you. I know what I'm talking about.
You think Mike Vrabel, what does he get paid? You think he's sleeping on the couch?
Yes! Yes.
You think he's downstairs in the basement sleeping on the couch?
Yes.
I think the man has a guest room.
I would argue he probably
I bet the man has a guest room.
He's
or
not allowed to.
an entirely different abode to begin. He's
got a guest house.
Wing of the house.
With an air tag.
Yeah, the locations are being shared now. If that was not the case before, it is the case now. On the Hopkins thing, great, wonderful, fantastic. Good for both sides. Who cares?
Oh, come on.
It could be good for the players. Could be good for the receivers. It's not all right.
It's kind of a story, but it's not. But to me, DeAndre Hopkins and Larry Fitzgerald have the two best hands I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely.
Like as far as like catching a football, they could learn something from him. He's got size.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can be a coach. Maybe he is at the back end right now. But there are guys that want to bring the band back together. Harold Landry's still here, though he's on the pup.
Yeah.
You got Byard, so there are guys that have played with him. I don't know.
Let's not forget, Hopkins chose Vrabel over the Patriots a few years ago.
Yep.
He went to go play with the Titans.
That's
It didn't
right.
work out, but he visited here. He was in the locker room. Matt Judon posted the picture. So this is kind of he's visiting them again in a completely different capacity, obviously. But one thing I will say, just on what Vrabel said, he kind of mentioned how he was like, Hopkins was not the fastest or biggest guy. He had great hands, but he won by being a good wide receiver.
Yes.
So that might be able to translate in, here's what I did to become a great wide receiver for the young player. That's great.
That's where I'm going double M, because I actually think he'll make a fantastic coach because of everything Keagan just said, the way he played. He was athletic, but he didn't have these great gifts like Megatron or someone like that that we've seen in the past.
Julio Jones.
Right. And also, he had a tough upbringing too. I think a lot of times when coaches are trying to connect with certain guys, that matters. I think D-Hop could be a really good coach.
I think he lost the Super Bowl. He wrote that story you're referencing was Players Tribune, and I think he ended up losing the Super Bowl. Maybe it's a guy that can relate to people who lost the Super Bowl.
So I think, what you're talking about in regards to upbringing, life experiences, that matters a lot as a coach.
Yes.
What you were as a player does not matter one bit. Troy Brown is one of the best receivers we've had in New York in 25 years. It did not go so well.
Did not work well with the Gerard Mayo era.
Did not go so well. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Keagan wrote 1,000 articles leading up to this NFL draft. Gabe Akis was someone you've talked about on the show time and again.
Love him like a son.
He is still not signed yet. Vrabel was asked about that as well.
Not great.
Well, continuing to work through the contract, I think that those have been positive. Obviously, between the club and his representative, and hopefully, we'll get him in here sooner rather than later. I'm not going to put a timeline on it or a time frame, but spoken to Gabe personally, and again excited to get him in when he's under contract.
It's the issue. I mean, he's the last positional player to sign. These deals aren't complicated. There's guaranteed money, laid out in the slot before him, the slot after him. Are you guys balking on guaranteeing some of the money? Like what?
Again, these are a lot of contractual issues that come up, and you laid out a lot of things that occur throughout those rookie contracts. But every contract is unique, every contract is different, and it'll get resolved. I'm positive that it will.
Hey, he's positive that it will get worked out. Are we positive that it will get worked out?
I mean, eventually it will because it has to. I cannot remember the last time a top 100 pick just never signed the contract. It just doesn't happen. Somebody's going to have to give in, but it's very clear that the team doesn't want to give him fully guaranteed money because of the injury, the surgery he had. He's looking at everybody else that got drafted in the second round and seeing they all got guaranteed money. Why am I not? Sticky situation. I think there's an aspect to this where whether it's the Patriots didn't catch it or he hit it well enough, there was an injury there in place during the draft that after surgery feels a little bit worse to the Patriots because they would not have traded up for this guy to then just turn around and try to screw with him on the money. They clearly liked the player, and something has changed since the day he got drafted to where they don't want to give him fully guaranteed money, clearly.
I think Akis has leverage because they need a pass rusher. And I think he's going to wait as long as he can, and then we'll eventually sign. But I don't think it's about injury right now. I think there were scares. There are two things that popped up they didn't even know about until after that's what kind of Keegan's kind of going to.
Yeah.
But to me, if someone has leverage here, it's Akis. They need him.
They do.
They need him out there. They don't have a pass rush.
You got to have a pass rush.
Joey Bosa, Jadeveon Clowney, there are guys you got $8 million bucks, you can go find yourself a pass rusher.
Last word
Mess.
on this.
It's an absolute mess that you're here at training camp. You say they need him. Yeah, they do. He also needs to be in camp.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's a rookie. Like, this is going to be a lost year for him.
He needs to work.
If this does not get resolved quickly. He's already behind the 8 ball. I'm not counting on him for anything this
Yeah,
year.
Christian Ponder and guys
How
like
could
that
you?
are already
Yeah.
ahead of him. You know?
Seriously, how could you count on him for anything? He's
No, you
not in
can't.
camp. He's literally the only player in the organization not in camp. Christian Gonzalez is due $100+ million.
Yeah.
Even he showed up to camp.
up, yeah.
Might not participate all that much, but even
he's
he
there.
showed up. He's
Yeah.
there. He's present. This guy's not in the building.
Wow.
He was.
Does he even exist?
If
Is he a
you
real
look,
person?
If you look up and down,
Manti Te'o?
Like, who is he?
you look up and down the
catfished?
list of players that they drafted, Gabe Akis was the only one that was supposed to contribute this year. And I mean that seriously.
Yeah.
Caleb Lomu is your 6th offensive lineman until you figure out what's going on with Morgan Moses. Everybody else is a developmental player, a guy who's going to be a 3rd stringer to start out his career. Gabe Akis had an opportunity to be a day 1 starter, and now you talked about how much I loved him going into the draft.
did.
I was here.
Yeah.
0 expectations. If he doesn't play a snap this year,
no,
okay, yeah, I get it.
No, see that. Okay, so I'm not dismissing your take. I'm just thinking when you're an athlete or if you play football, man, pass rush
You
is
gotta have
the
it.
easiest position
Yes.
to get back out on the field.
Yep.
No reps, no nothing. You just fly by and contain your edge, baby. And so I'm just saying, as an athlete,
2 different things.
as an athlete, pass rusher, easiest position to come back and play right away without any practice.
That's why instead of giving an opportunity to a guy who was a disaster leading into the year, you go sign a veteran who you know you can plug in right away and he'll get the job done. You can't trust this guy because he's never been in your building.
Don't get me wrong. There might trust issues. That might be the conversation.
So why give him an opportunity?
That might be the talent. Talent, baby.
Right.
Winning championships and talent. Not to mention Brett Bielema, who they all know.
Yeah.
Coached this guy in college. Like, I don't think they traded up for Gabe. Gabe Akis is awesome. Hey, if you watch this kid in
Yes,
college, he's a
yes.
bull rush inside, outside,
Yeah.
gets to the run. He can tackle
Big
for loss.
body, yeah.
And again, college, NFL, 2 different things. I think they trust him because of Bielema, not because of Gabe Akis.
What does that say about the culture of your team where he preaches, Mike Vrabel preaches, you have to earn every opportunity, you have to earn every rep. For this guy to just walk in and, well, it's a pass rusher, we'll just throw him out there. What does that say to the rest of the team?
Well, Mike Vrabel's
What does that say to Braden Swinson?
I'm sorry, but we're talking about Mike Vrabel here.
All right,
You want a good
well.
player on the field? Sign the contract, get your ass out there.
Man, 617-582-CHAT. What'd you say, Keegs? The circus has begun with the Patriots. You weren't lying, my friend. Still to come here on Boston has entered the chat. LeBron James. Who? LeBron James. Yeah, you heard of him. He's going to the city of brotherly love. Gross. We'll talk about it next. TB12 says, slow down, Bron. There's only one goat round these parts. We'll be
Speaking of
back
annoying goats.
here on Boston has entered the chat.